I fear nothing. Well, almost nothing.
Did you see that? I broke a fingernail. Sorry. The king kept me awake with his snoring all last night, so I'm kind of in a bad mood. Anyway, I'm the queen. I'm the real power behind the throne and in front of the throne in this game. I don't just stare at myself in the mirror all day like those wimpy queens you read about in fairy tales. I'm a warrior queen. I go out and do all the real work while the king sits around the castle passing laws and taxing peasants. I can fight any other piece in this game and beat the stuffing out of him, despite what that egomaniac rook may have told you. In the early versions of chess, there was no queen on the chessboard. Obviously, this was a major mistake. Once I was introduced to the game, I gradually took on more power until about 1490, when I developed the ability to move in all directions as the most powerful piece on the board. I can move in a straight line in any direction over as many unoccupied squares as I desire. If anyone dares to get in my way, I blast them out of their shoes and take their place on the board. So, I essentially have the combined movement power of a rook and a bishop. I'm the most effective when I have plenty of room to work in, since I can control so much territory at once. Now, you might think it would be a good idea to get me out on the board early in the game and use me for almost everything. But it's not a good idea to rely too heavily on any one piece, since combinations of pieces are required for a good game. Besides, I'm also a big target when I'm out walking around alone without any protection. And you don't want to lose me if you can avoid it. One other thing I'll tell you about before I go is pawn promotion, which is sometimes known as queening. If you manage to get one or more of your pawns all the way across the board to the 8th rank, that pawn is transformed into a more powerful piece, which is usually a queen. If you get 8 pawns across the board, you could have 8 new queens plus your original queen, although that would be pretty unusual. The original idea was that the infantry private who survived all the hazards of the battlefield had earned a promotion to an officer's rank. Of course, becoming a queen also means a sex change for the unsuspecting pawn, which may come as something of a surprise. And if I'm still on the board, the king would then have 2 or more queens, which is fine for the king. But it really ticks me off! Now, my headache is killing me, so I'm leaving.
Ah, that's better. I am the knight, and I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of hippophobia? It sounds like a fear of hippos, doesn't it? Actually, it's applied to chess players who fear the presence of enemy knights on the chessboard. These players take great risks for the sole purpose of getting those enemy knights off the board. Hippos comes from the Greek word meaning horse. In many countries, the knight is still known as the horse, and many chess sets represent the knight with a piece shaped like a horse. My unusual L-shaped movement is intended to symbolize the action of mounted troops on the battlefield. I attack the enemy as they pass, rather than in front, and leap over obstacles in a bound, unable to stop in mid-leap. From my starting position, I move 2 squares along the same rank or file, and then 1 square to the right or left. I can make this move regardless of any pieces that may be in my way, friendly or hostile, as long as my destination is not occupied by a friendly piece. Enemy pieces are taken like this. A unique advantage I have is my ability to attack any other piece without placing myself in immediate danger from that piece. Once I make an attack, no one can stand in my way. No other chess piece can say that. I'm also the only chess piece that can move before any of the pawns have moved at the opening of the game. I leap over them like they aren't even there. You will find that I am most valuable in cramped positions, and when there are a lot of other pieces on the board. I'm not one of those wimpy pieces like the bishop who prefer to work at long range. I like to get in close, where I can see and smell my enemy, and make him nervous with my presence. At various times, I have been referred to as the clown of the chessboard, the terror of the chessboard, the jumper, the bugaboo of the beginner, and the practical joker. Now, I believe this lowly pawn would like to say a few words.